Okay. This session, we have already checked about how media queries will work. So, as I already mentioned to you, Bootstrap or material UI, any material UIs you take, these are completely depending on the which one media queries only. Why? Because the material UIs and Bootstrap, the major purpose why we will choose them is because these are the CSS pre-process, we call them as simply to say libraries with a ready-made code. Okay, any code that you want to create, most of the codes are already here with a ready-made. We just need to make changes to the content and align. If you want any changes, even alignments, everything will be already pre-written. Okay, so now if you see, yesterday I forgot to mention how the browser will know which particular device you are using. For example, you have written media query rules, okay? But how the browser will know whether the user is opening from a mobile or whether he's using from a desktop or iPad? How they will know? Or else if you are compressing or increasing the width of the screen, how the browser will know? I said in the first class, I remember. Which meta tags? What meta tags are doing here? What viewport will do? What viewport will do? And madam viewport. Responsible for how? I'm asking how. What method a viewport will do? சொல்லுங்க மேடம் என்ன பண்றோம் viewport meta tag what it is doing क्या कर रहा viewport बोलो speak out చెప్పండి రా అదే పనిగా చెప్పా viewport meta tag ఇంపార్టెంట్ చెక్ చేయండి అని చెప్పానా లేదా ఫస్ట్ క్లాస్ లో చెప్పాను సెకండ్ క్లాస్ లో చెప్పాను మళ్ళీ స్ట్రక్చర్ చెప్పినప్పుడు కూడా అక్కడే క్లియర్ గా ఇచ్చారు ఇట్ వాస్ క్లియర్లీ మెన్షన్ దే what it was mentioning width is equal to device width initial scale is equal to 1.0 what it means it was just viewport meta tag is helping the browser by using this condition first it will check for the width it will checking the width what is the particular width of the device that is what the condition width is equal to device width will mention why it is not taking height because it will vertical scroll will be there will be infinite also we don't know how much height it will be it varies every device always but width will not change whether you compress or increase the width will be fixed within a proper size if you take a desktop are you able to compress the desktop and stretch it no but height you can scroll the page how much you want in the down okay so that's where we are considering width as the medium for our media queries always so next initial scale 1.0 that is nothing but here top and left corners okay that is where our screen is starting right 1.0 100% 1.0 down 100% that's where initial scale is mentioning about okay so here by using this single meta tag only now maybe whether you remove or keep it doesn't matter nowadays why because already w3 standards has fixed for the browsers already providing with the meta tag so those will automatically consider as soon as you load one HTML page into the browser, whether you put or not, it will put the viewport to it. But it is the best practice that you maintain viewport in your page so that the browser will render freely. Okay, because it's already there in your page, it can be rendered very easily. Okay. So by using the same viewport only, any material UI or any Bootstrap like CSS preprocessors will work. Okay. So firstly, what is meant by Bootstrap? Okay. So currently Bootstrap, the present version is 5, okay, standard version. Okay. And it was released last year. Okay, standardized. Before it was in alpha version, that means in the testing version. So before that, Bootstrap 4 is the complete standard version. So each and every version of Bootstrap, we are not getting much changes. Just very little changes we are only facing, but most features are getting added. So, for example, how Bootstrap will work is like just imagine you want a shirt, you want to stitch. So, for example, if I am a tailor and I tell you that get me this particular cloth and get me these type of buttons and get me this type of thread. If I'm giving a list of items, then what you will do? You need to collect all of them and you need to bring to me. Then what I'll do, I'll execute it and I'll stitch that shirt or pant or kurta, whatever it may be. I'll stitch it. So that's what we do using the manual coding. Okay, usually when we write HTML, we have the structure, nothing but cloth. Okay, buttons, like where we want everything. Everything we are just doing by ourselves. But what Bootstrap will do is it's like a ready-made. Okay, it's just we need a requirement. I need a like linen shirt. I'll just go size S, small, large, or medium. I'll pick that and I'll wear and try. If the size is not bigger or small, I'll go with the intermediate. So that's what like a Bootstrap. It's like a ready-made code. If I want a navbar, I'll direct already my navbar code is there. I'll just pick it off, copy, paste. Header I need, copy, paste. Then I need a side footer, copy, paste. Slider, image slider, copy, paste. So Bootstrap is all about copy pasting and selector. Okay. So Bootstrap is completely 100 to 100% depending on the selector of classes. Okay. So why the classes are important? For example, what is the difference between an ID and a class? What is the difference between ID and class? So can't we give multiple times ID? Why? It will not work or what? It will work or not? Then what is the difference between class and ID? Hmm? Class is also particularly pinpoint particular item. Wherever you class it will work. ID also wherever you give it will take the properties. And what is the difference between ID and what is the difference between you both? Hmm? What is the difference between you and her or three of you? All are girls only, right? That three are boys only. What is the difference? Hmm? Individuality, right? For example, I can call all of you as a single class, but I can't call all of you as the girls or all of you as the boys, right? So if I want to, I can, for example, I can't call all of you with a single name because you are my class. It doesn't mean that I can call everyone with the same name. So here uniqueness, okay. ID and class is giving me the same features, okay. But whenever I want to maintain a uniqueness, okay, when I want to make that element to be unique from all others, that is where I maintain ID. It doesn't mean that I can't give to others. If I'm an idiot, I'll give. I'll know if I'm not an idiot, I'll not give. Why? Because I already have a selector class, which will be for selecting using multiple time. I can use multiple elements. But if I want to make some element unique and if I want to apply some features, do you have any other selector? No, right? So that's where ID comes into the picture. It will jump in until I'll maintain the uniqueness to your elements. So wherever you give me, don't repeat my name because I'll be always unique. However, the other name will be multiple times. It's like a class selector, name, gender, age, and all. But other number, it's other number, maybe passport number, maybe or your college roll numbers, maybe these are unique numbers. These can't be provided to the other person. Why? Because that unique number holds the complete details of you, right? It is the one giving you the uniqueness. If you go to the college and ask for my name is particular Manoj Kumar, give me my certificate. What they'll tell? Or idiot first tell your roll number. Why? Because that is where your whole data is encrypted to the particular depending on the unique number. So in the same way here, that is the reason why ID can't be used multiple times. So that is a bootstrap for ready-made classes. We have using the class selectors as medium. So why they what these classes will do is, for example, I created a div and I want a border. What you will do usually? You can write three ways. I can write inline style. Style is equal to border 1px solid red. Or else I can write border 2 border style like order solid border width 2px border color. I can use individually also. As I said, each and every property will have a child properties. The properties we are directly using are the shorthand properties. We call them as padding. shorthand property, padding top, padding left, padding bottom, padding down. We can give individually also. Also, margin also same, top, bottom, left, right. Same way, border also, border top, border left, border down, border right. We can give individually also. So each and every property will have their own individuality and specific parent-child properties. Okay, so we are just making our work easy. We are using the shorthand properties. We call them as directly. Okay, so here Bootstrap, what it will do, whatever I needed, I already, however we use the CSS visually, we write internal or inline or external. Same way, these all are already written in one file and minify that file. What is meant by minify? Hmm? Just imagine if I told how many people I can fit in this room. How many people I can fit in this room? 20. You can sit aram say 2, I can divide. But if I remove that space, if I occupy each and every space that I have here, how many people I can fit here? 50 arams I can fit, minimum 50. I can put on the table only minimum 20 people can stand. Not 50, more than 100 people can aram say. Someone can sit inside. We can fit it. What we are doing here, we are not just wasting our space here. See, in the class we are using, if you just take an example of a metro, will you give space? Okay, take 100 minutes, you will tell. You will be like attaching each other, right? So why? Because you need to go home, you need to, if you wait like that, until this last metro, you will not get space. If you want like that much privacy. Or else, if you are a Tata Birla or some big shot, then you can get. I want a big bogie, buy me one train. Okay, but same thing happens here. So when I write the CSS styles for 100 lines only, it will be very hard for the lines of code will be more for my browser to execute. So because each and every, I am getting a space. For example, if you see each line have more space here, sides and all. When we minified a file, that empty spaces all will be removed and all my lines will be in a single line wise. Okay, that doesn't mean that my code will not execute. Why? Because as we are maintaining proper endings, starting flower brackets, classes, everything, if you give properly, why it will not work? We are just removing or deleting the space. Okay, so that's what we are doing with our minified files. So what Bootstrap will do in Bootstrap or Material UI is this will pre-write the all the classes and properties. Okay, so classes and properties it will write and it will just what it is making, it is just making them to the compress, just uploading to a particular file and we are just using that file to access. Okay, so if you see here, yeah, so let us, so for Bootstrap, don't check any other websites. Go with the Bootstrap official library only. Why? Because Bootstrap official library will give you the proper output. So don't even go to WP schools or any other things. Bootstrap library only will give you the detailed explanation of each and every topic. Okay, so use this only. So if you see here, you have a file here, CSS bootstrap.min.css. So let us check what it is here within this file. See, I have some lines of code. Okay, this much code I have. So let me save it. I don't want this much big name, so I'll just give bootstrap.min.css. Okay, I saved it. So open it. Yeah. Where is that? Here it.
There's nothing in your music library.
I know. And so if you see, by seeing this, are you able to understand anything? So it is like some Korean language, right? But if I just format it into a normal document, now see, what is this? It is just CSS. It's just only CSS. We are just minified, nothing but we just remove this unwanted space. If you see how many lines of code is there, if I make it for, if I didn't minify it, having where is the end? See, it was still going 7,000 lines minimum. It is there. Still it is going, right? So just imagine how many lines total 11,000, around 12,000. If you just imagine, if you want to execute these many lines, how much time it will take and how much burden it will fall on the browser to render this, right? So that is where what we are doing, we are just minifying this file. That means when I remove the spaces in between them, what is the size of that file? I mean, how many lines of code I have? So let's see. Like maybe one, how many lines? Forty-six columns. Yeah, if I 15,500, 1,50,842 characters we have. With that many, if you want to select, how much time it will take to render? That's why I have minified it. So when I minify this code, what I have in this is just about CSS. I don't have anything. So dprint none, nothing but display none, dprint inline flex, display inline flex. So if you see, I have all each and every PS, like the triple XL5 padding left 3 RAM. So here if you see media queries also already written minimum width 1200, like at the rate media print. As I told you to go through different media queries. How many I should check? Print mode and all. It's your loss if you didn't check. Okay, so try to check. Okay, there are hundreds of media queries here. How my when I why how my browser Bootstrap is converting my normal page into a responsive is because these code already have my CSS media queries written. I'll just need to pick a proper class to tell in which device how it should look. Okay, for example, I can convert any HTML file into Bootstrap file. How? Just by using the CDN. CDN is nothing but content delivery network. For example, if you want to talk to your parents from here to home, what you will do? What phone is doing? How the phone is working? Through signals, right? The signal that you are sending, it will just first go to the tower, and then that tower will send signal to your the person that you are caught trying to reach their nearest tower. So here these two towers are acting as a bridge between you and the opposite person, right? In the same way, these whole content, Bootstrap content, these libraries are already embedded into the server, and we are just accessing through by creating a bridge between our local file and the which one online file by using this content delivery network links, CDN links we call them. Okay, so they will be written backend code response in such a way that whenever users triggers this link from his page, I need to give all the privileges that I have. Okay, so that's what this CDNs mentions. So if you go to the Bootstrap documentation, where is this cursor? You can see they already given copy paste the style sheet link into your head before all the other styles to load our CSS. So they are mentioning that to load it before all the CSS. Why? Because it should load along with your body. Before after some CSS is loaded, if there is any issues, what happens? Your page will be not that much look good. For example, you have written a function, the rendering time is more. Okay, due to this, what happens? Your local CSS is affecting, my page will not get properly loaded. But CDN, this code is already perfect. So this will load quickly and it will make your page look better, even though there is any rendering issues. Okay, so one is for CSS. This bootstrap.min.css is just completely handling with my CSS. Okay, and it plays a major role while dealing with the any other bundles that we are using. So next one is the JavaScript. Okay, so if you see here, next file is the what is it is bootstrap.bundle.min.js. This bundle have, if you go separately also, you can see what it have. Bootstrap min.javascript is there and popper.min.js is there. So let's do one thing. Let's check with bootstrap file 4.6 is the standard version. See what we have here. Same bootstrap.min.css, jQuery.slim.min.js and bootstrap.bundle.min.js. Okay. And if you go separate files, if you see jQuery, popper.min, bootstrap.min.js, right? Here also JS is there, but what is the difference? If you see, go with the 5th version, this bootstrap jQuery dependency, where it is, somewhere it is. This jQuery dependency is removed from our bootstrap file now. Okay, whatever the features that we are getting, advantages and plugins we are getting from jQuery, these are directly included into our bootstrap.min.js now. So that's the reason, that's the major advantage that we got with the bootstrap file now. So bootstrap no need to depend on any third library. So bootstrap is one library and jQuery is other library. They two are different CDNs. Okay, so bootstrap is depending on the jQuery for few things, but now there is no dependency on it. So bootstrap is now a complete separate CSS processor without dependence on any other libraries. Got it? That's what happened with the bootstrap file. So now if you take with this one, let me. So what I need to do, as it is script, whenever you need to write any script, don't ever keep your links within the head tag. Why? Because scripts should always execute in the ending. I'll tell you why. For example, you written some functionality to load the page. Okay. So if you write on the top, it will execute even before loading your HTML element. Right. For example, I written an element to hide or show. I executed that function before even start showing my HTML element. Is it going to work out? No, it will throw an error, right? So that is the reason always my script should be at the last, just before closing my body tag. Why? Because by the time all my HTML elements will be loaded, when all the HTML elements are available, my functions will work without any issues. That is the reason always, the same reason CSS why we are including top. I want my content to be loaded before my elements, right? Because if I should have written the CSS only if there is an element. If my CSS is already loaded, my elements will quickly pick their styles and they can show quickly to the browser in the browser, right? So that is the reason why we include the JavaScript links at the bottom and CSS links on the top. So we can keep it on the head tag. Okay. So now my file is just by using these two CDNs, my file get converted into a bootstrap file. So now I can access anything that is there in the bootstrap directly. It's not a big deal. It's just about two links. One is scripting link, one is the CSS link. Okay. So how you can check it whether it is working or not? So let me do some selectors. See, I was getting a border and I was also getting some padding. But is anywhere did you written these styles in your file here? Did I written any styles here? Like I want particular border type or particular color of border. or padding this much, and did I written anywhere? But if I just inspect this element and check here, see, I given three classes. One is border. First one is the border class. So what is the border class is doing? It is applying 1px solid gray color border. Then I given one more class border danger. So what it is doing? Border color and given some red color, danger color. P3 I given, P-3, nothing but padding, 1 rem. So rem in the sense, if you convert into px, how much it will be? 16px, 0.5 rem, 8px, 1 rem, 16px, 2 rem, 24px, 3 rem, how much? 48px. It will double every time. Okay. So that's what you can just using REMs also. This, instead of writing this and all, if I want to write this and all, it will kill my time. So now if you see, just by adding class here without any line of CSS, did I got my properties or not? So that is what called as a ready-made code, and that's how simplifying my work by using the Bootstrap. Bootstrap is just simplifying my work and making me to easily do my work. Got it? So if you see, yeah, let's get back to our, where is it? Yeah, so let's get back to library again. So even the same thing, you can use the separate files also. One is JavaScript, one is popper.js. Okay, popper is nothing but the execution. Okay, so now what we have. So before jumping into the layouts, let's first we'll check the, we say, not customize breakpoints. So nothing but Bootstrap breakpoints. Same whatever we discussed yesterday. We'll just brief it here one more time. As we already know how many types my devices are segregated. But coming to the Bootstrap, we have 6 categories. One more is added in Bootstrap 4 only, it got added. Extra large device. Before we have only extra large, which is ending with 1200px. Now we have extra double XL, simply to say extra large, nothing but starting at greater than 1400px. So if you see the same rules that we have seen yesterday. Okay. So as per these rules, if you see what these are mentioning, extra small, small, medium, large, extra large, extra large. So the small, extra small is mentioning with none of the keywords. In the Bootstrap 3, it was used to be mentioned with XS. From Bootstrap 4, the word XS got removed and it made the universal by normal code. That means whatever the code you give, okay, so it will directly take for the extra small, because already you are dealing with other devices. That means that whatever the code you give, that is definitely dealing with the particular small, extra small devices. Okay. So that extra small devices, what is the width it will be? The devices whose width is less than 576px. That is what my extra it will mention. Just give me a minute. Okay. So these extra small devices, like whenever you are using Bootstrap, if you write any code, if I'm viewing that particular executing that file in the device width whose width is less than or equal to 576, sorry, less than 576, automatically that devices falls under which category? Extra small categories. Same way, when my device is comes into greater than 576px, okay, so then it will be greater than or equal to 576. It will fall under small devices. Same way, greater than or equal to 768, medium, greater than or equal to 992, large, 1200px greater than, extra large. But if you check the breakpoints between C, even you can, here they're given the grid breakpoints. So when you are using the SAS, currently we are discussing only CSS, right? So there are different CSS types like SCSS, SAS. Okay. So what is the advantage? As I already mentioned in the first class, the lines of execution will be less. Even SAS will take the JavaScript functionality, similar functionalities, like you can execute the CSS by using based on the conditions. Okay, so there you can use these breakpoints also directly by using this. These can be customized, these are never fixed. If you are using SAS, you can customize it. Like if I want access to be 596px, I can give 596 or 800. Next device I can give different. So like that I can customize this when you are using a SAS things. So media queries, you already know how I can use the minimum width and maximum width, right? So if you see at the rate include media breakpoint of SM. So instead of using the width, what I'm doing, I was directly using the device name here. So small devices like 576 to 768, right? So 556 to 768. These will be already fallen under which category? Small devices. So those will be indicated by SM. So each device is indicated with two letters. SM, small device SM, large LG, medium MD, extra large XL, double extra large double XL. Okay, so like that you can mention the breakpoints, and whatever you write the CSS in this, it will give the same output what we did yesterday by using the minimum width and maximum width. Got it? So that's what my this see, no media query necessary for access breakpoint, as it's effectively at the rate media width of how much? 0 to 500px. Sorry, whatever the up to 556px. Got it? So that's why you don't need to give. So if you see they given some example also. By default, if you give custom class display none, it will apply for all the devices, including the extra small. But at the rate include media breakpoint of SM and display block. Tell me in which device my this custom class element, whichever the element is going to display block. Small device, in the small devices, if I give this class to any whichever element I give, it will become display block. Got it? So if you see here, they already given SAS mix translate our compiled CSS using the values declared in our SAS variable, right? SASS, we will declare like this already, and we'll write the conditions. That means customize. We can customize how we want. Okay. So if you see maximum breakpoints also here, same way like minimum breakpoints. But if you see mix, as I mentioned yesterday, we will subtract every time 0.2px, 0.02px from our maximum values. If you see 576 should be 575. Why? The same issue as I mentioned, whereas the starting value will be same and ending value also same. So it will affect the, as a human, you may be able to understand clearly, but browser will get confused, right? It is going to create the issue. That's why it's better we maintain every time 0.2px less 0.2px. We are just subtracting from each and every which value, minimum value or maximum value, maximum value. Okay. See, single breakpoints that we discussed on the top, that include media breakpoint only access. That means what it will do. This is what it will execute. If I give only MD, this is what it include. See, it is including, just mentioning, it should take apply that only keyword is adding this more priority. It is mentioned previously, it was telling to the particular width of devices. But now when I include media hyphen breakpoint hyphen only, it was strictly telling that you should apply these rules only to this particular device. You are not supposed to apply this rule to any other devices like me, large or any other. You should apply only to the medium devices. So under this medium, so automatically MD, under this MD, these rules are already written, pre-written. So this will get executed. So that's how my breakpoints will work. See, you can use between also. Between MD and XL, what it will get? Extra large and medium. What is our in between style? Large, right? So that large will can see 768 to directly I'm giving until 1200. Okay. So in between what I have? 992 I have large devices, right? LG. That is excluded, but I was maintaining by using this particular between class. So here if you see directly I was just I can use all these breakpoints without writing in the CSS. So that is what the advantage that you are getting by using these Bootstrap classes. Okay. So how you can do this? So let me go with the next one, not containers. Let's quickly go to the grid. there you can see how it will usually it is helping us to execute. Okay, so now you already got the picture of idea that Bootstrap is completely about classes. If you remember the proper class, you can execute, you can give class quickly. You don't need to worry about CSS. Why? Because already CSS is written. But for example, there is a thing that you need to know, like, see, for example, I have written a style. Okay, I'll take class border only here. Dot border to pH solid green. Now tell me, is it going to work out or not? Whether my element, this element will get green color or border danger red color, which one it will get? Hmm? How many are telling green? Raise your hands properly. Red and now, then how many of you is telling green? Raise properly. Didn't have breakfast. I didn't have breakfast and dinner. I'm only raising. Raise. Okay, green. Red. Why red or why green? One you tell why red and you tell why green. Very important is written. Excellent. I'll give you a chocolate. You earn my respect. That's what keen observation we call. See, if you see each and every property in Bootstrap min.css, is there any one property without important tag? No. Each and every property will have a important tag. Why? As I mentioned you, important will give the high priority and we can't override the important style until unless it is a inline CSS, right? So we can't when I'm using this class for some styles, I can't, maybe the user can by mistake written something. It will override this class. Due to this, what happens? It will affect my layout system, right? So to avoid these type of issues only, what they did, they given important to each and every property. So that is the reason why my border green will not work out. So if you go and check here, I'll get only red color. I'll not get green color. If you see, it is getting striked off. Why? Already I have a border, but if I disable this border danger and this border class, this one, now if you see, is it getting applied or not? So now if you see, let's enable this one. See, again, not only border, even border danger have important. So color is taken by it already. So like this, my classes will always, Bootstrap classes will have an important tag linked to its properties. So be careful when using those properties. These can be overridden by your local CSS. Okay. So here I have used the CDN link. You can even use the local files. How you can use? You already know. You can just save that file and I can directly give Bootstrap min, right? Min.css. So let us check it. So now what happened? Integrity is nothing but so integrity is nothing but it's just act as a key between our browser and the local file. So I don't want that integrity with the local file. So that's why now if you see I just added bootstrap.min.css and style sheet. Reliable type is style sheet. So automatically did I got the Bootstrap properties or not? So one JavaScript I am using CDN link. Here I am using local. Even this also you can use the local only by downloading a particular file and including into a local file. Okay, and you can access it with your local files. So that's how Bootstrap giving me the privilege, whether it is the online CDNs or offline files. What is the disadvantage or advantage of using these two? What is the advantage of using online and what is the disadvantage of using? Pardon? So if you are using good. So if you are using offline files, you don't need any network. For example, just you started working task. Okay. If the network is gone, your page will look like some dirty sheet. How the slump will look. Like that it will look. Okay. But if you have file in local, Network is there or not, you don't need to worry about it. Why? Because you are getting the style from your local file only. It's just like a normal CSS file for me. I was executing that file. So that is the one of the advantage. Also, what is the advantage of using network calls? Because if there is any minor change also in that network calls, that means in the library, it will automatically, we can get it here. We don't need to worry about changing manually here. But if you download, you need to again download, you need to change manually. So that is one of the disadvantage. And also, each and when you are using offline, you need to stick with particular version you need to download. Here online also same thing. Whichever the version you are download giving, you need to mention it clearly. Okay, the version is always important, which version you are using or which particular Bootstrap version you are using, like 4 or 5.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Okay, thank you. So whether it is a fourth version, even if it is a 4 also, you have multiple 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, 4.34, 4.4, 4.43, 4.6. At last 4.42 is the final version standard. Like that, you have different standard versions. You can choose any versions. Okay, but latest is the 5.02. So that's why we're using the 5.02. So this is how you can include any external libraries into your web page. So give me one external library similar to this. Apart from material UI. Tile video. Okay, tile video.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Why not?
Could you restate the question?
I'll not get lost.
I'm sorry.
Get lost. Okay, tell me. You people are already used before Bootstrap only. Which library? Icons. Didn't use. It is also one of the library only, right? Font awesome is also library. Font PNG is also library. Font material like private fonts also. Google fonts also one of the library. So these are extra libraries only. How we are using them into our local page? Same way by using the CDN. Even font awesome also you can download and you can access from download from local. You know that? ಗೊತ್ತಾ தெரியுமா? So you can use even download files also you can access. Same way, font awesome you download, keep in your local, access it. But what is the disadvantage is, if you're using online, you can get more privilege than the offline with the font awesome. Same thing with this, however, network, same network calls. So you don't need to call any network if you have offline. Even if you're offline, you can access the icon. So that's how my CDNs will work, content delivery networks. Remember this word CDN, content delivery networks. These purpose is just to deliver the content to our pages. Okay, so these all libraries are completely depending on this content delivery networks only. Got it? So doubt? Who called me? Okay, cool. So now if you come to the next one is the layout system, we'll call it as. So here grid. Grid is the major thing that you need to remember about whenever you're learning any material UI or Bootstrap. Why? Because, for example, when you're writing a HTML, so for example, if you want to divide into 2 elements, how you will do? You will give display flex to the parent and you will do like minimum this much width or this much height. There, the parent you will consider as a single one element. So it will be hard for you to divide like one is 20%, one is 40%, one is 60. But coming to the material UIs and Bootstraps, what these material UIs will do is CSS preprocess. My 100% screen, they will divide into equal parts. So here, Bootstrap is dividing into, each screen is divided into 12 equal parts. Okay, just imagine I have a big room, okay, which is 1 kilometer length. Okay, 1 kilometer length, and I was telling every day I was dealing with 100 batches. Okay, so if I tell each batch people to sit or you only without breaking it, without segregating each and every room, is it easy for them to sit in a proper place every time? I may make them to sit properly, but it will take time, right? That's what happens with our normal alignment with HTML, right? So it will be hard for me because it's a single part. We don't know how much each batch should take, how much part each batch will take, right? But if I divide into 100 equal parts, that 1 kilometer distance, or else this, if you see, if I keep all this list into one classroom, what happens? Issues, what is the issue that you will face? Tell me. If I keep this whole thing as one class, and if I make three batches to sit, what is the advantage, disadvantage you will get? First one is disturbance, right? Whatever I'm telling, it will be affecting that person also. He don't know whether he put here in the right side, he'll put here in the left side. Middle, he can't hear what his trainer is telling, right? Same thing. Apart from that, seating issue. So same thing happens with our screen also. It doesn't mean that we can't make them sit. We can make them sit and we can align the layout based on HTML, CSS in a single part. When my screen is when I have it divided equally, it will make me work easy. Now I can loudly how much I can speak, how much loud I can.
I didn't catch that. Could you try again?
You don't respond.
That
Okay. So if I divide it, it is easy, right? I can make you people to sit how you want, how I want easily, and I can speak how much loudly I want to. It will not going to affect the other person. Same way, when I divide this screen into 12 equal parts, in the sense, this is my screen, just imagine 100%. So if you want to align one element here or here, it is hard for me. I can align, but I need to check carefully. But just imagine if I divide it into 12 equal parts. I'm not good with the drawings, so don't even tell me these are not equal. I was just dividing. Okay. How many? Three are? Four. One small. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So just imagine this is my body. I'm not talking about particular div or any element. I'm talking about body. I'm divided my body into 12 parts. Now, if I created a div element within this, the div element also if I divide into 12 parts. So now, for example, I need an icon here, like one box I needed here. At the part of, let me give numbers to this.